Hi, and I want to talk about the 3 books and materials that I've created to help individuals with BPD. And I want to try to give you an idea as to how to use them. And the way I would use them, I think that all 3 can be exceptionally helpful, and that's why I created them. The reason why I created these things is because people were writing me asking for help. They were struggling with how to find help, what resources out there for them. And what I did is I created these 3 components, these 3 treatment options, so that individuals could choose what can help them the most. What can they embrace to move them forward? And that's the point. That's why they're there. But people have written me and said, well, how do they all work together? Well, let me help you out. So what I would do first is I think the BPD Workbook is a great place to start, particularly starting in section 1. And I think that section 1, which talks about BPD and successful treatment, and I think that it is giving you an understanding as to where your BPD comes from, issues that might come up, and concerns that you may have with subtypes of BPD and other types of issues. Now, the next one, part 2 of the workbook, goes to first steps for growing beyond BPD. And this talks about the process of change and the 8 trigger categories. And again, we're building that insight. That tends to be one of those great challenging issues for individuals with BPD. And I think these first 2 sections really help to solidify that. Now, before moving on to section 3, I think that that's where the complex BPD book comes into play. And I think that identifying those comorbid conditions and issues that are present. And there's also strategies in this book as well that can help you manage it that are different from the BPD workbook. And I think that provides you options. And that can be really powerful. That's what we want to do. We want to give you the options so that you can push back on those old maladaptive strategies and develop new adaptive ones that help you build relationships, achieve your goals, see yourself differently. And this is so critical because I think a lot of folks that are managing with BPD or BPD traits are holding themselves back. And that's not to say that there's an issue of blame, because I don't believe that there is. What I believe is that you've developed these maladaptive patterns over time that keep getting in your way. And those barricades, they can seem ginormous and just so big that you feel like you can't get over it. You feel like you can't manage it. You can't deal with it. And that's that BPD speak. And those strategies in both of these materials, the complex BPD book as well as the BPD workbook, provide you those strategies. Now, once you've read the complex BPD book, I think now you know your comorbid conditions. You've read and learned from the case studies, and you're trying some of those adaptive strategies. Then you can go back to part 3, 4, and 5 of the BPD workbook. And this helps you move along the way, not only dealing with and managing surface content, those maladaptive patterns, behaviors, and issues that keep getting in the way. But then it helps you get to the core content. What's underneath? What's that problematic issue that's inside, that's driving all of those maladaptive patterns? Then we get to the point of maintenance. So the issue then becomes, well, if we have both of those, right, these 2 books, how does the card deck come into play? Well, the card deck is made up of 5 main categories, which are abandonment and emptiness, relationship patterns, unstable self-image, impulse management, and dissociation. Now, these are issues that are going to come up for you as you move along your therapeutic progression. And I think that learning these strategies can be really helpful. And the cards, I think, are so valuable and helpful because I think you can keep them in your pocket. You can take a picture of them. Even if you have the digital copies, you can keep those pictures. And you can use them as they come up, as issues arise in these different categories. And I think the categories are important because instead of just giving you 50 options, that then you're overwhelmed with all these categories. I don't know. First thing you need to do is, right, you got to identify that category. Where is it? Oh, I have this sense of abandonment and emptiness. Then you're going to pick out a card from the abandonment and emptiness and you can read it, like right here. So abandonment and emptiness. So what I want to do is I'm going to pick a card out of the abandonment and emptiness pack from my BPD card deck, and we're going to go over it and talk about it really quick. So this is Lessening Loneliness. This is resist the urge for self-blame when you feel lonely. Loneliness is not your fault and never proves that you're defective. You can lessen loneliness through social contact, online or in person, getting a pet, joining a workout class, or volunteering. Don't stay idle. Socialization gives a sense of connection. And I think this is really important because it can encourage you to branch out. I think what happens is that your BPD keeps you contained. It keeps you stuck in your BPD, and that's not what we want you to do. That's what the strategies in the card deck are all about. That's what my workbook and my other material is all about. It's challenging those things and pushing back against that sense of loneliness so that you can do it different. You can have different experiences and repopulate your social network to help you grow beyond your BPD. I hope that short video was helpful, because then that shows you how you can use that. And you can hit these other 5 categories as well. I wish I could treat everybody. I really do. I wish I had enough time to have you on my couch and have you in my little chaise lounge. I have a nice little chaise lounge in my office. And I wish I could. I wish you could see it and experience it, and we could go through this process together. Regretfully, I can't. I'm limited in the amount of time. You can see it back there, the amount of time that I have, right? So to maximize this, to reach the most amount of folks, I made these resources to help, and I hope they do. Please leave comments. Let me know how they've helped you. That means a lot to me when I hear about what has been helpful and ways that my material has been utilized. It helps people as well. Those comments help people as well. Not only are you helping yourself, but you're helping other individuals learn about their BPD, learn that it is not this horrible disorder, that you're this horrible person who wants to ruin everything, and you're this evil, villain with the little, handlebar mustache. I gotcha. That's not how BPD is, and it's not how the people with BPD live their life. They're struggling, and they're trying to find resources and ways to manage it, struggle it, and get through it, and control it. And it is the most successfully treated personality disorder. Please don't forget that. This is a manageable condition, and you can manage it. And I think that these resources are ways for you to do that. And I hope that you find them helpful. Please leave comments, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.